Let's adjust our main mod based on the changes in our library and start using GUI. Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza. Welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. Between the previous episode and this episode, I had done tons of things that you can follow on the library generation series. However, those changes broke some things in our main mod and added lots of things that we can utilize for drawing our GUI. So in this video, we will try to fix things, and if there is time, we will start using our GUI library. Now, the very first thing that happened is that I merged the block properties BE with the block properties. Because of that, now block properties is actually a generic and it will accept our BE type inside our constructor. Instead of having discrepancies between namings, I made all of those namings unique. So let's just comment these lines and let's continue. Instead of has lit property, we can say add lit property. And instead of having the has horizontal facing, we now hit add horizontal facing, and because of these tabs, okay, then we say should tick. However, instead of that, we call tick. Drop contents on break. Instead, we have add properties. And finally, right click to open GUI, we have add GUI. And that's basically it. Instead of all of these, we are done now. One more parenthesis, and that's the first change in our library. Also, gblock now has the onState replace. We don't need to put it there anymore. We will talk about this onBreak in another video, so I will add a to-do here, and unfortunately we have to fix this because onBreak has something that we should talk about. On gem cleaner BE, we changed the name. Instead of tick logic, now it's set tick logic, and that is the only change inside the block entity. However, in a screen handler, if you notice, I changed these names to screen handler being SH and the screen renderer being SR. The handler now has a public accessor for player inventory Y, and if we want to, we can have a public accessor for the player inventory X. Gem cleaner SR now is the thing that we want to talk about. So far, I think we have things covered for the gem cleaner. However, if we go into our block entities for GUIs, all of these now have problem because as you see, things has changed. Okay, first of all, this properties, what is wrong with you? Well, let's remove that. Let's remove that and GUI base. Let's go into GUI base. It's tick BE cannot be resolved. Let's remove that and see if we can fix that one. We can't because now we have G block entity and that's covering everything. So we don't have any sync or updatable or tickable. All of them is on G block entity. However, the constructor now needs things because this time we can say this dot properties dot and we see that we have sync, we have tick and update. Okay, so update means that we will be updatable. That's one thing. Then we establish that we want a tick, so that's tickable. Now here's something that you may want to, and that is wait and tick. It means that if I update, I will to the end of the tick to do the updates. Now it's not updatable, it's not waiting for the end tick. All it has is the tick method. Here's another change. Get chance is now returning a boolean. Okay, so instead of all of this, comparing the word random compared to our chance, we just return this. Okay, so cut that, paste it here, and it will work. As simple as that. Now that we have fixed the GUI BE, let's see if this will work. However, as I said, the name changed to set tick logic, and this will be the only change that we have to do on every GUI. And we have these imports that we don't need and need fix. I need to continue forward. Now here, this .properties.fields, we are adding the origin that did not change. We just need to clean the imports. And at the end here, we have the tick method that says get distance. Now this is not here anymore. Get distance is a static method from pose helper. So I can say pose helper.get distance. Okay, then we go into here, we clean the imports, and here we set the tick logic. Again, here we will have that get distance that needs to be fixed. So pose helper dot get distance. Here we just need to set tick logic and lava pump. I'm really not sure if I want to keep these pumps for lava and water. because we will have a machine for that. And I told you time and time again that these two may be gone, but let's just fix these problems and deal with one thing at a time. So clean the imports and then static logic. So I will do this, and when I'm done with the GUI, I will come back. Another thing that I just added to the library is some utilities that I can use, and honestly, it's gonna be inside our teleporters. So let's go into items, player teleporter, and then yeah, we have things here changed, isn't it? Although I think it's the import. So remove that. The fix itself. New coordinate payload. What is your problem now? Instance of type variables exists so that coordinate data payload conforms to coordinate data payload. Interface variable has incompatible bounds. Take a look at my data payloads, custom data type elements. Yeah, that's it. That's the problem here. So that is fixed. Hopefully this is fixed. Yes. And then another teleporter is the tuner item and advanced tuners. Now, advanced tuner, again, needs to fix the imports. And don't worry if you don't know where your imports are wrong. The moment we run the game, it will yell at us. Now, the thing is that when we use on break, especially here, we are getting the dimension to a string, okay? However, I have a utility for that. Sorry for the white screen. I always hate light screens when I'm coding, but I didn't want to open it inside IntelliJ IDEA because it takes time. And this is get dimension ID, okay? And at the same time, we have the get dimension name and get dimension name clean. So I will use them, and they are inside our base helper. So instead of this, actually it is returning the name. So I will say base helper from our utils and get dimension, what's the name? It's not a static. I forgot to make them a static. God damn it. Okay, I need to fix that. Eventually, I have to open my whole project again. So let's keep it as it is so that it's working. Let's open the whole project structure. Now the project is up. In base helper, the problem is that I didn't make these two helper methods static. So in the mod, I don't have access to that. And because I changed it, now I have to go back and basically recall the whole library again. And as I'm doing it, I will change this name from screen utils inside GUI helper just to be consistent with everything. Okay, now that that is changed, we will have problem in test mode, but I will fix that when I'm not recording things. However, now I have to publish the GBase and GGUI, but instead of publishing it into Maven, right now I'm using Maven local because, first of all, because I don't have access to internet right now. And second of all, I'm tweaking these libraries time and time. So I started using Maven local, and as you see, Maven local is sitting inside your user, then .m2 repository Jiraiya. If you don't know anything about it, I have a video in the channel under the multi-project playlist, so you can watch that. So let's delete these two libraries, and I had fixed my libraries so they are not including them into each other. Because of that, I don't need to go back and resync Gradle for everything, but I will publish to Maven for the base first, wait for it to be finished. Then inside the GGUI right now, I will go into Loom Cache, the remapped mod, the Jiraiya, and as you see, I have GBase here. I will delete it there. This is the only library that I will do it right now. Again, between the episodes, I will go back and resync Gradle for every other project, because when you tweak the base, everything needs to be synced. Every other mod inside my library system is using base, and honestly this is one downside of having something like this. When you tweak something in the very base library that everything is depending on, then you have to go back and resync everything. It's not that hard, it's just time consuming, maybe 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and the whole thing will be up and running. So right now I'm waiting for the publishing to be finished. By the way, this publishing will call the build, and my build system is changed, so I have these build source and build mod, and as you see right now I have GBase and it is being cleaned because on build task I had modified the run configurations and I added a before launch task. As you see, it is calling the clean first, and then it is building. So I don't need to come back and delete these two jar files manually whenever I publish to Maven, or if I build the mod, it will happen automatically. So the GBase is updated, and now I will sync the GUI first. Then after GUI is finished, I will go back into my main mod and under Loom, and again the remapped mods. Here I will find Jiraiya. Now I have to delete both the base and the GUI. And as I was doing that, actually GUI is finished syncing the Gradle. However, right now I need to right click on the project and reload from the disk. You see that it detects Minecraft, and then it will start indexing. And when the indexing is finished, I can run the publish to Maven local, and we are done with GUI now. If I didn't change that helper method here, I didn't have to publish the GUI again, for time being at least. Now it's done. So finally we go back to Ultra IO and resync the Gradle. It will take few seconds actually. This is one nice thing when you are using Maven local, because it's really fast. It's reading your repositories from your hard drive, and honestly, it's blazingly fast. To change things to use Maven local though, you need to know that build.gradle tries to find artifacts in order. So it will first look into the Maven Central. If it finds things there, that's it. If it didn't find it in Maven Central, only then it will move toward Maven local. And if it fails to find things on Maven local, it goes to the next Maven, then the next Maven. So as you see, my main Maven is sitting all the way at the end. Basically, I'm giving priority to Maven local, and that is why it's not gonna look into the internet and yell at me that, hey, you don't have connection to net right now. It will find it on Maven local. Also, on the Gradle panel, I made it so that it looks for other things offline, and I already have a cache about everything that I use right now, and that's it. So now that base helper is finished and Ultra IO finished, I can just reload from disk and let it detect the Minecraft and index. And finally, I can go on and finish what I was doing. So here I was working on items, specifically the player teleporter, and using on block. Here, now I should be able to say base helper dot get dimension name. Now I don't need the clean one. I need the name one. The clean will return the dimension name with the underlines being cut away and putting the space there, making it readable. However, I just need the name itself, and as you see, it's much more cleaner here. Again, this one, it's dimension.substring.blah. Instead of all of that, I can say base helper.get dimension name clean from the world, and basically it's doing the same thing. So just that will give me the clean name. Now let me see if I have anything on the use. No. And here's something. Someone had commented that using the teleport to will work in both scenarios. So I don't need this if check here. I can give it a try. So I will just comment it and see if it works or not, because if it works, then there's no need for this mumbo jumbo. Also here, I think I'm okay with this. Yes. But one more place is the append tooltip. And here again, I'm getting the dimension name from the data here. I think I don't have any overload that helps in this single case. Let's see. I get the word, and word. So no. I don't have any way of cleaning a dimension name from a string. If I want to, I can add it, and it will be public static that returns a string, and that is get dimension name clean. However, here I will send in another string, and this time I will do this. I will cut this one actually and return that, and let's call it dimension so that I don't have any errors there. Then I can rename this guy to be dimension name, and here I will return actually the other overload, get dimension name clean, and I will send it there. So that's one line call. I'm not gonna publish it to Maven and resync again, because right now I'm happy. It's just something that I can do between the episodes. So here I will be able to call that overload. So I will put a to do here, use base helper, and I think that's it, because I'm just setting the dimension name when I'm using on the block, and here I'm not getting the dimension name clean, but I'm getting the dimension name clean here. Output coordinates to the chat is just pause dimension. Where are we calling you? There we go. So instead of again having this, I will cut it from there and paste it there. So again, single line of code. I prefer that. So it's all happening on the use on block. Now the tuner should be the same deal. So use on block again is using this. So instead I will say base helper dot get dimension name from the word, and for the word I have the player dot get word. And what's wrong there? I missed a pair of parentheses. Here I will say that base helper dot get dimension name again from player dot get word. So I don't need those two lines. On the use, I'm not doing anything. Use on block entity, I'm not doing anything. Append tooltip, again, this is a to-do. Use base helper. And finally, this guy is just the call that we had on top. Now, advanced tuner, however, is just overriding that use on entity, so I don't have to do anything here. And that's another helper method being used from the library. I think we would not have any more errors. Let's run the game and see if something comes up or not. So inside Fabric, I will use run client. If you want to, you can have tasks, but it's a little bit janky because right now under Ultra IO, you have the IDE, and you see that there are 3 wrong configurations here. Oh, we have problems. Okay, what's wrong with you? Oh, the blocks. Okay, now if you want to run the tasks, you will just copy these 3 tasks, and you have that .ide here. Or alternatively, you can just get this run configurations folder, put it under the .id on top, but it will not work because it has wrong addresses for the main folder. So you have to manually tweak things there. However, I prefer to have Ultra IO Task Fabric directly being called from here. So let's change these guys because now we are using our new things in the library. And this is just saying that should tick, and that is just tick call. So dot tick. And what's wrong with you? I need another parenthesis here. Okay. And basically, this will be the same for every Goo block. So I have to open the blocks and go into Goos, and all of these need to be changed. Again, remove that, cut this from here to here, put it there. And don't forget that now this one is abstract. So I need to put these on both places. And now I have lots of not used imports. Clean the imports, and then it is dot tick inside here, and I have one extra parenthesis. So I will do it for all of these, and I will come back. I don't know you guys, but this looks much cleaner than any other block that has block entity. It's ticking, it's generating the block entity, it's providing everything that is possible. Well, we have few things here, but again, compared to many things that we had before, it's much cleaner. And what's wrong now? It says properties dot has property, has power property. Now it became add property. Okay, and one more thing here on placed, this became get a state, and on use with item, again, this became get a state. Again, this looks much more cleaner than anything I had seen ever. And what's wrong with this? It says raw usage of parameterized class block properties. Yes, we can just do that of any, and it should be happy. Okay. Anyway, one thing that I don't like about 30 Worthy's repository. Don't get me wrong, he's a decent programmer, he's a decent mod developer. He really knows what he's doing when he's actually coding himself and not using GitHub Copilot. But there is something in his library that I don't like, and that is he doesn't do house clean. What do I mean by that is this. If you look into Industeria, what he's streaming these days and developing, actively developing, and go into the main under block entity, you will see Industeria block entity right below the block entity package. Then in the abstraction, you have another Industeria block entity. If you look for Industeria block entity anywhere, you see that he's not using imports. The reason is that it's using this version, okay? Now, some of them, maybe the newer ones, like, I don't know, let me find the very newest class that he may wrote. Electrolyzer, maybe. Yeah, let's take a look at the electrolyzer. The industrial block entity is again not being imported. So he is using the one under the main block entity folder. The abstraction folder was something that he was working on. Now, if you are temporarily working on something that you may not use it and you are not sure if it will work or not, especially when you have GitHub, then please make a branch, and instead of adjusting it like this, just start developing things in place in a branch. And if you didn't like it, then just delete that branch. If you did like it, merge it to your main. That being said, I want to have house cleanup as I'm going forward. And this is a good habit to have, because when you go deeper and deeper and deeper in your mod, you will forget things. For example, you may forget that you have a water pump and lava pump that you may never ever use. How can we solve this situation? Well, just open it inside Explorer. You see that .java. If you don't see it, it's inside the options and you show the extensions of the files. You can just put a dot back here or anything. I use dot back because it reminds me that it's a backup. So it's pump goo, bye bye. Lava pump goo, bye bye. Then I will go into the block entity, goo, water pump goo block entity, bye bye. Lava pump goo, bye bye. Okay? This is inside the main Java classes. Now, if I go back into resources, assets, Ultra IO, textures, block, again, I will find those water things and lava things. For example, water pump goo, bye bye. The MC meta, bye bye. Okay. Then I will find that lava pump goo, say goodbye to that, and then the MC meta, bye bye to that. So at the end, if I look into the project and do a fast search or anything like that, I can search for .backup, .back, and a speed search, I can say start .back. So it will highlight anything that has .back. At the end, when I want to make sure that my mod is ready to be published, I will look for that back word, and yes, I will expand everything in the folder and make sure that I'm deleting anything. Alternatively, you can use Windows again. So you come back to the base of your project like so. And here I will say star.back. And this time I will see everything that has the .back. For example, I know that I have an iron JSON that is for the iron armor as a backup in my mod so that I can use it if I want to. But I can see that water pump goo, lava pump goo, and the MC meta and the textures. So I can easily delete them inside the Explorer as fast as I need. And I think it's a faster way compared to using the project window, and that will be house cleanup for me. I'm not going to delete them right now because if I change my mind, well, I would want those classes to remain wherever they are. Let me close these and go back to Ultra IO. Okay, let's try to run the game and see if things comes up. Oh, no, stop. I will have problems actually because I just removed classes, okay, and it will be inside the mod blocks, mod block items, mod block entities. Yes. So I will comment these lines. Then here inside init, I will have lava pump and water pump. Unfortunately, it makes these things grayed. So I will say that I will move them down. I will cut them from here to here. And at the end, putting a comma. However, I will comment it. I will put a semicolon and comment it. This is my way of going for cleanup on these sort of things. Thankfully, here we can just comment lines. Here we will comment lines, and inside data gen, goddammit, under the base loot table provider is no, it's not okay. So we will have the lava and water. Under the model provider, we have the lava and water. Anywhere else? What's wrong here? Armor? I did change it, didn't I? I think I don't need it anymore. Nice. Basically, I was adding the material because I was creating the models in a very complex way. However, with 1.21.5, I did change it so I don't need that material anymore. Then the recipe provider will have problems. No? Sure. Are you sure? Because I think I have these goos somewhere. Smoking, shapeless, shaped. Am I not providing the recipes for goo? Actually, I am providing recipes for goo. So, I didn't provide recipes for those two. Okay, good to know. So I will say to do pump goo maybe. Then the item tag provider is correct. Actually, the entity tag provider should be correct. Yes. Language provider, we will have problem here. Yep. So lava pump GUI and water pump GUI and block tag providers. Do we have problem here? Yes, there is that. Okay, okay. Put a semicolon there. What else we may have tweaked? I don't remember on top of my head. So we fixed the blocks, block entities. We don't have block items there. Okay, so that should be it. Of course, I need to rerun the data gen to clean it from possible problems, but that's okay, I think, because I'm not registering the blocks or block entities. So not registering the block means that it will not read the JSONs. Let's see if we have any other problem. Yes, indeed, because we are not using a screen utils anymore. We are using a screen helpers. Come on, be smart. Oh, okay, screen helper, and then here. By the way, this screen renderer will change a lot in maybe the next episode, because this episode got long enough. But I had to do this, and I wanted to show it in front of the camera, because if you were following the tutorials and using the library, then you would scratch your head how to fix these things. Any other problems? Yes, we have. And that's, oh, more machines. God damn it. God damn it. Okay, blocks, machines, alloy mixer. This is not providing block entity right now. It will be add hovered and add horizontal facing. It will be the same for most of these. Okay, add properties and then add constant shape. What was the name here? Dot set constant shape. Okay, so again, this is add. This is set. No, this is add actually. That's horizontal facing. And again, we shouldn't use raw. We shouldn't use raw. Get outline shape. Didn't I fix it here? Get outline shape. Yes. So I don't need that one. I don't need this. Create block entity doesn't need that one anymore. We are not providing a block entity here. So that's okay. And again here, get ticker and create block entity. Bye-bye. See how cleaner things became? Bye-bye. So block placer, let's fix that one. Basically, it's just the same thing, you know. Some of these became add, some of them became set. Most of the time, it will be add. Only the shape is set. So when I'm setting something, I'm providing parameters. When I'm adding things, I'm not providing parameters. Oh yeah, I remembered now. So we have set things that accept parameters. Add things means that add the default ones. Yeah, that's why. Okay, that's it. When you have to set something here, as a parameter, just take a look at that set keyword. Good to remember. Builder block, same deal, same deal. Did I clean it? Yes. So again, this is a repetitive job. I will come back when I'm done. All I'm doing is just removing those things and changing these to be add. And most of these should be the same. Some of them, for example, the chunk loader has this shape, so it will be set with capital C for constant shape, add and add. And then remove that raw usage. And then we don't need to get the codec anymore. We don't need to get outline shape or break block entity. So that's just your class now. Anyway, I will come back when I'm done cleaning this. Now, this is one thing, unsynced block event. I think I had handled it here. I'm not sure. Let's see. Unsynced block event. No. Let's take a look at the super, because I remember there was a reason that I didn't add it here. It's just returning false, okay? And if we look at this here, it says block entity equals to the block entity at the position. Then it says block entity just call the super, okay? The unsynced block event here returns false, okay? Now take a look at unsynced block entity here. It's returning false again. There is no point. Basically, I'm saying either return false, or if you are block entity, then return false. That's it. That's not needed. And I'm not sure, it may have been changed in 1.21.5, but basically we don't have to do that call like that anymore. If you are calling the super, it will return false. So you would never ever go to the second and third line. So either call the super or the two lines. And again, they are returning false. So what's the point? Okay, another test. Let's see what other shenanigans come into our face. Thankfully, I'm not changing anything in commands or configs or the effects, events. Maybe, I'm not sure. Oh, I want to change something. Oh yeah, we have other problems. Data gen, line number. I think I changed this name, like data gen features. Yo, I have a typo there. Okay, something that I missed, the mod item groups for the goose. Okay, and finally, Minecraft is coming up. So I assume everything is okay. However, just to make sure that things are working, I go into a test world and put down the gem cleaner. Now you see that facing is working no matter where I put it. And as you saw, the GUI is coming up, and something that I changed is textures for the ruby and sapphire. I may change a few things, maybe the enderite, I'm not sure. I will take a look at that. Enderite itself, not the alloy. This guy, I'm happy with it. I will keep it. So other than that, everything should behave. However, let's go and put a GUI there. And the easiest one would be water generating. And I need contain some space like so. Doesn't matter the size, just to make sure that things are behaving. And then I need a copper rod, putting the GUI there. Activated copper rod. If this behaves, that behaved, everything will behave because the same stuff was repetitive and I just copy pasted most of them. Of course, if you want to make sure that everything is okay, then you need to go back and try everything. But as you see, when this works, when the facings are working, when the GUI is coming up and showing, I assume that everything is behaving actually. Now, in the next video, we will start working on this, and you may be surprised, but I will not have any pre-designed GUI texture like the one that we already have. So if I go into the textures, the GUI, the container, and open Gem Cleaner, you see this texture. Well, it will be gone. We will delete it when we are done with the next video, and we will use our GUI library to draw everything from scratch and having fun with it. If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone. Bye.